The reason your videos aren't growing has nothing to do with the algorithm. It's not luck, it's not timing, and it's not because YouTube hates small creators. It all comes down to one metric. But before we start, my name's Amma and I've grown multiple Faces YouTube channels to the point where I can get 100,000 views per video consistently. And I help beginners do the same, giving you the potential to generate some crazy income all that they need to show your face or use fancy equipment. Click the link in the description to book a free call with me where we can discuss how I can help you. The metric is that people aren't clicking on your video. And when people don't click, YouTube has no reason to keep showing your video. That's the part most creators avoid. It feels better to keep blaming the system. But YouTube is brutally simple. It shows your video to a small group of people. If enough of them click, it shows it to more. If they don't, distribution slows down. Before watch time matters, before retention, before subscriber count, put the click first. You can have the best edited video on the platform. Incredible storytelling, perfect audio, hours of effort. But if nobody clicks, none of that effort is seen. You don't have a content problem, you have a packaging problem. And packaging is what decides whether your content lives or dies. Think about how people actually scroll on YouTube. They're not carefully studying thumbnails, they're not carefully reading every word, they're scrolling fast and their brain is filtered aggressively. Every thumbnail gets a fraction of a second. In that fraction of a second, your viewer's brain asks one question. Is this for me? If the answer isn't immediately clear, they move on. This is why understanding human psychology matters more than understanding the algorithm. The algorithm simply reacts to human behavior. Now I want you to imagine walking through a grocery store. Look at the cereal aisle. Bright colors, bold shapes, cartoon characters, exaggerated expressions. Everything is loud and visually simple. The reason why is because those boxes aren't designed to explain. They're designed to interrupt attention instantly. They don't rely on logic, they rely on reaction. Now imagine a plain white cereal box with small text, lots of information, and a calm design. It might be healthy, it might even be better, but does it grab the attention in half a second? No. YouTube is in the same shelf. Your video is sitting next to 10 others covering similar topics. If your thumbnail blends in, you simply lose. Not because your video is bad, not because your video is low quality, but it's because nothing interrupted the scroll. By the way, if you need help creating a Faces YouTube channel that can generate over 100,000 views and have the potential to generate some crazy income, click the link in the description to book a free call with me where we can discuss how I can help you. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Clicks are based on emotion, not logic. People don't click because something is informative. They click because they feel something, whether it's curiosity, fear, excitement, urgency, or validation. That emotional trigger happens before logic even kicks in. Most small creators still make a critical mistake. They design titles and thumbnails that explain everything clearly. They create what feels complete. But when everything is explained, there's no need to click. Your thumbnail shouldn't answer the question, it should create it. Your title makes a promise, your thumbnail creates curiosity, and your video delivers the result. If your thumbnail explains the entire value, your brain thinks, alright, got it, and scrolls to the next. Let's look at an example. If I titled a video, how to grow on YouTube, there's nothing technically wrong with that, but it's generic, broad, and doesn't emotionally trigger anything. Now compare it to a title like, why your videos get no views. Now it feels personal and more direct. It almost challenges the viewer, and that intrigues them and makes them want to click. That emotional reaction, even just mild discomfort, is powerful because curiosity is born from tension and tension is born from uncertainty. If there's no uncertainty, there's no reason to click. So how do you actually improve your click-through rate consistently? There are 3 principles that change everything. First, one video and one core idea. Weak titles try to do too much. For example, how to grow fast using AI, SEO, editing, thumbnails, and titles. That's 5 ideas competing for attention. The brain gets overwhelmed. Strong titles feel focused, like why your videos don't grow. One idea, one problem, and one focus. When you narrow your focus, your message becomes sharper. Sharper messages create stronger reactions. Second, sell the outcome, not the effort. Nobody wakes up excited to watch someone work. They care about results. For example, a title like, How I Spent 10 Hours Editing This. It feels overwhelming and effort focused. Whereas a title like, This edit got 1 million views. That's results focused. One talks about work, whereas the other talks about transformation. People click for transformation. Make sure to always highlight the reward. Third, remove every unnecessary word. If a word doesn't increase clarity or emotion, remove it. Longer titles dilute power. Trust me when I say short titles hit harder. You don't need complexity, you just need impact. Now let's go deeper into thumbnails. There are 2 dominant approaches that work incredibly well. Emotion-driven thumbnails and story-driven thumbnails. Emotion-driven thumbnails rely on facial expressions. Humans are wired to read faces instantly. A strong expression communicates before the brain can even comprehend the text. Shock, confusion, doubt, excitement, but the expression must match the emotional tension of the title. If the title suggests something dramatic, but the face is neutral, the entire message collapses. Everything must point in the same direction. Today, AI tools allow creators to experiment faster than ever. Instead of searching endlessly for stock footage or taking photos, you can generate specific expressions, lighting situations, or environments that fit your idea precisely. But here's something important. AI gives you a draft, not a finished product. The final impact comes from refinement. Things like adjusting contrast so the subject pops, cleaning distractions, darkening backgrounds, and most importantly, sharpening the focus on the main element. The goal is always clarity in half a second. If someone squints at your thumbnail, the main idea should still be obvious. Text on thumbnails should always be minimal and never repeat the title. If the title says, "Why your videos get no views," and the thumbnail text says, "No views," that's wasted space. Instead, the thumbnail text should amplify the emotion. It should intensify the tension. Now let's talk about faceless thumbnails. A face is powerful, but sometimes objects tell a stronger story. A declining analytics graph, a cracked camera lens, an empty bank account screen, or a red arrow pointing towards something. Objects can symbolize problems instantly. The question is, if the title disappeared, will the thumbnail still spark curiosity? If the answer is yes, it's strong. If it's not, then it's forgettable. Now let's address the two extremes that destroy click-through rate. Extreme 1, overload. Too much text, too much arrows, too many circles. There you have too many elements that are fighting for attention. The viewer needs 10 whole seconds to decode it, but they're not stopping for 10 seconds. You lost. Extreme 2, emptiness. A clean image, a random background, a neutral face, no tension, no story. It may look nice, but it says nothing, and nothing doesn't get clicks. Both extremes fail for the same reason. There's no emotional trigger. Think of your title and thumbnail like two people having a conversation. If they both say the same thing, it's boring. If the title says, "I quit my job to travel full time," and the thumbnail also says, "I quit," there's no added layer. But if the thumbnail shows someone sitting alone in their apartment with packed boxes and no furniture, now there's tension. Was it a mistake? Did something go wrong? Is this a success or a failure? Curiosity lives in the gap between what's shown and what's explained. That gap is where the click on your video actually happens. Now here's something that most small creators don't realize. Being small is an advantage. You're not boxed in. You're not locked into expectations. You can literally experiment aggressively. You can test bold emotional angles. You can test extreme clarity. You can refine your visual identity. Large creators can't often pivot easily. You can. So experiment intentionally. Change one variable at a time. Test stronger emotions. Test simpler titles. Test clearer thumbnails. Watch your click-through rate. If impressions stay the same, but your clicks increase, you're winning. Because here's how momentum works. A higher click-through rate leads to more impressions. More impressions leads to more views. More views leads to more subscribers, and more subscribers leads to higher distribution rates. Growth doesn't start with better editing, it starts with better packaging. Again, if you need help creating a faceless YouTube channel that generates over 100,000 views and has the potential to generate some crazy income, click the link in the description which will take you to my website where you can learn more and eventually book a free call with me where we can discuss how I can help you. YouTube doesn't reward effort, it rewards performance. It rewards videos that people choose to click. So stop obsessing over whether the algorithm likes you. Start asking, would I click if I saw this next to other videos? Is the clear idea in half a second? Does it create tension? Does it trigger emotion? If the answer is no, improve the packaging before improving anything else. Because once you master the click, everything else finally has a chance to work. That's all I've got for you today. If you found this video helpful in any way, shape or form, or it gave you clarity, drop a sub and like the video. With that being said, I'll catch you in the next one.